Hey, I'm Phil. I'm just going to show you today how to put your aim down sights in first person instead of over the shoulder. Here's what it's going to look like. You notice there's not a scope, or also it's not going to be shooting from the exact center. That would include a few things that's not going to be in this tutorial. Really, this is just so you have something you can prototype with. So let's get started. Alright, first thing we're going to do is make this thing more accurate so that I know whenever I'm getting some of the bugs out. You see what I'm talking about later. All right, let's go into shooter core, weapons, rifle, instance, weapon instance. I'm just going to duplicate it. Again, this part isn't necessary. It's really just for testing so that I know I'm doing it right. Okay. Let's go into weapon, accurate, compile, save. All right, let's go back up to it. All you gotta do, really, is take out all this stuff. Everything that has an X next to it, that's what I clear. I don't know if that's exactly the way you're supposed to do it, but if I'm not mistaken, it works. Yeah. See, now we have... See, it's not even accurate. Okay. Now we have a place that we're looking at that we know if we're pointing in the right direction whenever we're zoomed in. Alright. Next. All we're doing is taking the ADS, the aim down sights. We're going to make another one of those. Scoped. All right. We're going to add a couple of things. Right here. This is where it changes into the aim down sights. We're going to go to this one. Right here. Duplicate that one also. This is just a hack, honestly. I mean, this isn't the best way to do it. The best way to do it would be to make first-person camera modes with the C++, but I'm not going to do that right now. Really, this gets the same thing. This does the same thing. Okay, let's see that. Open it up. There's a better way to do it, but I'm not doing it. This is the super easy. Put the blend in time to 0 and ease out right here if it's not already. This can be whatever you want the zoom to be, so I put it at 35. All right. This should be it. All of this stuff right here, I'll talk about it later, but all of this stuff is essentially like a really advanced spring arm that we're not going to use for first person. But the reason it's a problem is because since this uses... No, you know what? Never mind. I'll talk to you later about it. All right. First person ADS. This is the scoped ADS. We're changing the camera mode to first person. Now this we can attach, browse to it. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. Go to weapons, back to rifle, go to the ability set, go to granted gameplay abilities. Let's add another one. ADS scoped. Input tag. I think it's under weapon. Yeah, ADS. This will make sure that it's the same input as your right click. It should override the third person that is attached to your character ability set. We'll double check to make sure. But technically right now, if I'm not mistaken, let's see what it does. Okay, look at that. See how it goes to a different location? We'll change that later. And that seems to be an issue also. It changes the speed, but it doesn't change it back. That's funny. So I think the way to fix that is technically the other ADS that you have attached to your camera, or to your character, is also running. And it's supposed to override it, but I don't think it does. And so, to fix that, we need to change this tag, add a new one. It's going to be FP ADS, because that's not confusing. Yeah, whatever. And take out the original one. Cancel ADS, regular ADS. This is cancel abilities with tag. This is going to cancel the other ADS that you have attached to your character. I'm also just going to block it because I don't know if it helps, but it's going to make me feel better. Let's see if it works. Yeah, okay, we're removing the right speed. I believe that's what the problem is. Both of those aim down sights gameplay abilities were being called, and something was getting messed up so that the other ADS didn't run, or it didn't exit, or something. Either way, it's fixed now. So immediately you can see that there's a few issues. Number one, you can see the head, which is not what we want. Number two, whenever I zoom in, it's pointing to something else now, which is not what we want. So we need to hide the meshes, and then we need to rotate the character so that it's looking at the point we were before we did the move to first person. So we want to be looking directly at that after we do the transition. Alright, so there's a few things we need to do. First, I'm going to make some functions. Hide all meshes. Get focal point first person. Get focal point third person. This one's for whenever we're going to first person. This one's for when we're going back to third person. And then a macro for hide character meshes. Okay. Go through these one at a time. Okay, so as you can see, I cheated a little bit. I brought this in from my other project because I know it works, and I'm kind of lazy. So here we go. We need to go to inputs and add a couple. You can execute a hero shooter mannequin, or whatever it is you're using that has pawn cosmetic component, which is probably the hero shooter mannequin. And then a boolean that should hide. Then we pull out this guy, pawn cosmetics, down at the bottom. Yeah, get pawn cosmetics, and then get character parts, get character part actors. Yeah, boom. I'm just gonna delete these. All right. Then pull out the array, do a for each loop, and just make it look like this. Basically, what we're doing is we're getting every part, we're setting the parts that are connected to the character, cosmetic parts, setting the owner as the character, which apparently they're not set automatically, whatever. And then we get the skeletal mesh from each of those parts. And for each one of those skeletal meshes, we make it a no-see. So everything that is attached, every cosmetic that is attached to that character will be set to owner no-see. Now, if you're playing a single player game, you can just make all this, you can just hide it, straight up hide it, or deactivate it, or whatever. But I'm going to assume that you're making a multiplayer game, and this is the best way I've found to do it. It might be a better way, well, whatever. I'm going to say that a lot because none of this is by the book. This is just me getting it to work, just so you know. All right, don't forget to make an output node. Hold on. Go into right here, add one. It's an exec pin, execute pin. All right, add it to the end and do after completed set owner no C. There we go. All right, let's go over to hide all meshes, and you can see I kind of cheated again. We need an input of Boolean should hide. Get character, actually, yeah, just make it look like this. Get the Lyra character from actor info, validate it, set this as a local variable, should hide. If it's not valid, just send it to the end right here. Okay, so that actor info, we need to cast it to the hero shooter mannequin because that has the pawn cosmetics. That's right. We'll call this right here and hook all the stuff up. Then this is a macro that I think comes with, it doesn't matter. Just call it, yeah, Lyra get weapon, yeah. Okay, let's see. The weapon skeletal mesh, this is where we, okay, so this is hiding all the character meshes. This is hiding the weapon mesh. Should hide, yeah. All right, that should all be good. Let's see if it works. Oh, well, we have to hook it up first. Hold on. Then graph, let's put it right in here. Should hide. And then over here, event on end ability. We're going to call it again. And say, don't click this. So click it here at the beginning, and whenever we leave the ability, should hide is no. Let's see if it works. Ha! Okay, you can't see the person. Look at that. Okay. Theoretically, if it were not zoomed in so much, you wouldn't be able to see the weapon either, but whatever. In case you want to not zoom in as much and you don't want to see the weapon, that covers you there too. Yep, alright, so there's the other problem. We need to address the focal point problem to where whenever we zoom in, we want to be looking at exactly the same spot that we were before we zoomed in. To do that, we're going to go into get focal point. And again, I'm kind of cheating because I'm lazy. So, I'm going to go through some of this so you understand. Make it look like this right here. We're doing a line trace. We're getting the controller, the Lyra player controller from actor info, camera manager, camera rotation, and get forward vector. From the camera manager, we need the camera location. And yeah, just make it look just like this. Visibility. You don't have to do a debug. All right. Look at it. From there, we need to bring this out and get break the hit results. And again, just make it look like this. This is the way I do it whenever I'm watching tutorials. So I'm assuming you're going to do the same thing. You just pause it and look at this. We need the Lyra character actor from info and cast to. We can do it just to the hero default because we don't need anything specifically from the hero mannequin, shooter mannequin. All right, now I'm going to explain this. What we need is to get where the eyes or the camera is going to be whenever it moves to first person. And to get that, there's a base eye height whenever it's in first person, and we want to use that whenever it's not crouched. So get the select is crouched from this right here. Whenever it is crouched, I've found that the best number, because it doesn't, there is a crouched eye height, but it doesn't seem to work correctly. I don't know why, for this application at least. So I put 58 and it seems to work the best. Only add it to the Z and add the root components world location to that vector. That's where we're going to get the start whenever we do our find look at rotation. And the target is going to be either the place where we did this line trace and it hit, or where it ended and it didn't hit anything. And that's going to be based on whether it hit. So I hope you all understand that. It's pretty straightforward. Then we're going to set the control rotation in the controller. Get the controller, set rotation, use that find out look at rotation. I think that's pretty straightforward, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's check and see if it works. That does not work. Oh, of course it doesn't work. We gotta hook it up first. Back into scoped, event graph, right here. Focal point. We want to do it before we set the new camera. Boom. All right, yeah, I think that's right. Okay, let's try it again. Look at that, it's looking exactly where we were. Now it still comes off because the third person camera is in a different place. Hard to explain. To fix the third person problem, I did another kind of hack that really is not a full solution, but it's just what I do because remember how I said earlier, where is it? That all of this was basically a really advanced spring arm. Well, unfortunately, there's no way to predict where the camera's going to be without doing some serious math and extending some C++, and I'm not doing all that. So I kind of did a hack. I realized that it's maybe not what you want to see, but again, this is not all by the book. This is just stuff that I used to get it working. So we're going to go into the character. Hold on. Shooter mannequin. Oh wow. Hero. Hero shooter mannequin. All right. We're going to add a spring arm. And this is just to get us in the general spring arm, yeah. Just to get us in the ballpark of where it's supposed to be. It's not going to be perfect. Oh yeah, let's add just an arrow, I guess. Arrow. Third person, I don't know, location. Third person camera location. There we go. This isn't where the camera is actually going to be. This is just a place that we can use to anchor where we want to look from, even though it's not going to be perfect. I hope that is clear. It will be soon, probably. All right. Now we're going to take the spring arm that's attached to. We're going to do 70 and 70. I believe those are the right. Oh, no. Sorry. Cancel that. It needs to be in the socket offset. So 70. 70. I believe that's correct. We'll see soon-ish. All right. I'm re-recording this because this part of the footage got deleted. While we're still in here, we need to go to the spring arm, use pawn control rotation. Let's go back over to ADS scoped. Get focal point third person. It's going to look very similar, the first part of it. It looks pretty much the same. Let's make sure this get avatar actor from actor info and put it in the actors to ignore, otherwise you're going to have some trouble. You're still going to have trouble because you can't do it really quickly. I'll explain in a minute. And make this part of it look just like this. Right here, we're pulling out that third-person camera location. It's not where it's actually going to be, but it's pretty close. You'll see here in a minute. Oh yeah, just make that -28 for the true and 0 for the false. And just like the other one, set the control rotation with the find look at rotation. Okay. Event graph. We're going to put it right there before hide all meshes and after on end ability. Now again, I'm re-recording this, so I'm hoping I don't skip anything. I'm pretty sure I got everything in there. Let me know in the comments if you're like, what happened? So let's test it out. Yep, everything is working the way it's supposed to. The problem with this, since that's a fake third-person camera location that we're using, see, yeah, whenever you do it higher or lower, or no, it's going to move over just a little bit. See how that's not perfect? Without doing a whole lot of math and some extending of C++ classes, it's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to I'm not going to go into all that. All right, there we have it. We have a first-person aim-down sights. It doesn't have like a scope, and it doesn't shoot from the very center because it doesn't have a first-person animation. But what's most important is whenever you zoom in, it zooms in and looks at exactly the point you were looking at before you zoomed in. And that's what's most important, especially for prototyping, which is what this is geared towards. I'm working on a full toggle between first and third person. It's taking a lot of extra work, and I need to figure out how I'm going to do the animations and make them only visible to the owner, because I'd like this to also be multiplayer. Point is, I'm working on it right now. I want as many as people possible to be able to play this and work on this project in first person, because it's such an amazing project. So that's what I'm working on now. If you have any questions or suggestions for future tutorials, I know you've got suggestions. I'm going to try and get to as many of them as possible, but just put them in the comment section. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.